What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 21 of Figureoutable. And today we're going to talk about your first 90 days at a new job and what you need to do in order to ensure that you're successful starting a new role at any workplace. But before we begin, a quick message from our sponsor. I'm just kidding. So the reason why we picked this subject for this episode is because obviously I'm in the business of hiring and firing and training new employees, and I see a lot of behavior that works and I see a lot of behavior that doesn't work. 90 days is a really important frame of reference because any new job that you work at is going to put you on an evaluation basis when you first start. And that evaluation period is generally 90 days. In that first 90 days, it is not time for you to pull any crap that's going to put you on the short SHIT list with the employer. You want to be on your best behavior, and it's also a really good period for you to get settled and evaluate the job, get to know it, get comfortable, and start to show your true colors, which hopefully are good. So how do you make sure you're going to stick around in the first 90 days? Number one, you're going to shut up and observe. Most people are going to start off hot. They're going to try and impress immediately, and maybe that's not the best course of action. You first need to learn about the personalities of your team. You should also learn about the power structure in the office environment. Who's the boss? Who's not the boss but acts like the boss? Who's the person who you want to try and suck up to make sure that you're on their good side because they're a big noisemaker? Who makes decisions? What does it take to be a decision maker at the job? Who's complaining? Who's hustling? And where do you stack on the totem pole? Okay, what's a totem pole? Literally, it's like a tribal thing and it has a bunch of different faces on it, and they're all different faces. Some are smiling, some are angry, some are sad, some are happy. The totem pole means basically if you're at the bottom of it, you better watch out because you're probably not going to last long on the team. So you always want to know where you stack up. And this is not to say anything to the contrary that comparison is the thief of joy, because that is completely true. But when you're coming into a new workplace, you definitely want to make sure that you're not the short stack. Otherwise, you won't be sticking around. I have a very important question. Who are you? What do you like about your life? And what do you want to like about life? Those are some questions I want you to marinate on as we go forward. Because if you're watching the video right now and you're a bit of the class clown, you definitely don't sign up to put your best foot forward or try really hard. The teacher's pet is your least favorite person in the class, and you're not willing to go all in on anything in life, then you probably haven't asked yourself these questions. If you're applying for a job, it probably means you're of legal age and you're not in elementary school anymore. And so while you might be watching this video and you might have been the kid that picked on the teacher's pet in a past life, those days are over. And it's really going to be a matter of whether or not you're willing to be the teacher's pet that's going to set you back or push you forward in that job. So showing a little extra effort might seem like you're sucking up, or maybe that you actually care about the job. But if you want to get anywhere in life, you might need to start caring. And if you haven't asked yourself the question about who you are and what you're going to like about life, or what you even want to like about life, then you're probably lost to begin with. And so as we go into this episode, I'm just going to remind you guys that it's okay to show effort. It's okay to try and fail. It's okay to go above and beyond. Anything but those choices is really just subpar performance. And as we sit here in our lives and we say, you know what, I'm going to make mistakes because I'm not perfect, that's totally fine if you made those mistakes by trying hard. But if you're saying that in your mind and you're not putting good effort in, you're just allowing yourself to sit in a pile of crap of life and not get anywhere, right? You're imperfect, I make mistakes, but I don't actually have to try hard. That is totally different than trying hard and making mistakes. You're in your first 90 days of the new job. I want you to ask yourself, who is the loudest person in the room? Generally, they want to be perceived as the most powerful, but the loudest person usually has the least substance to say, and they're generally the most insecure. Every workplace that you're going to start at has hidden politics, so getting to know your team and how the power structure works is going to be important for you, because you do have to play politics. You also have to be a salesperson. These are two elements of life that are extremely important, and the ones that try to deny the political structure, they usually get kicked to the side. Respect the culture at first. Become a part of it, and only then can you change it. If you come into a workplace right away and the culture's trash and you call that out, instead of just trying to please the boss or trying to make a positive change in the workplace, you're going to have all of your teammates fighting against you. And that's a terrible spot to be in the first 90 days of your job. Are you a low maintenance employee, or do you make your team's life miserable before you make your boss's life miserable? The reason why I ask about the team before the boss is because a lot of people think that they got the job they don't like, screw this place. So they slack off. But by slacking off, you're not just hurting the employer, aka your boss. You're also hurting your team. A great analogy would be like if I walk into the bathroom and I say, man, screw this place. I take a massive dump and I don't flush the toilet. My boss isn't the person who walks in behind me. It's my teammate. So I think I'm sticking it to the man. All I'm really doing is sticking it to my teammate. And I don't really want to do that because we're on equal footing and we see each other as equals. And we're in the struggle together against an oppressive boss or a capitalistic system that doesn't pay us enough, value us enough. And life is a struggle, right? So screw the man. So I'm just not going to flush. Well, you're really just crapping on your coworkers. When I ask the question, are you low maintenance? Do you make your team's life miserable before you make your boss's life miserable? Be low maintenance. It's your first 90 days. Show up on time, bring good energy, do more than you're asked of. I promise you, most bosses are not as oppressive as you think. And if you give them that valuable effort, they're going to want to shine a light on you and they're going to want to give you more responsibility. And that comes with more pay. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is solving a visible problem. You're getting the lay of the land. You're figuring out who's on top, who's on the bottom, where you stack up on the totem pole. And you're also starting to realize that the company has some cracks. It's got some problems, some inefficiencies. This is where I want you to use your brain. Offer up a solution. Solve a problem. Go above and beyond. If you've got a crappy process, poor documentation, challenges with communication, or you've got a pattern of customer complaints, these are all opportunities for you to come up with a solution. And guess what? It's not just about adding value to your boss's pocket. This is something that you can obtain fulfillment for. So when you fix something, you're going to feel good. It gives you a little rush of dopamine and it makes you feel like you're a badass because you either are or you aren't. And this is a path to doing it. So solve it visibly, come up with that solution, take some ownership of that, feel great, but also don't be arrogant about it and be strategic. If you're solving a problem that is directly related to one of your coworkers who's just not doing their job, you have to be really strategic because you want to offer the solution, but you don't want to make your coworker pissed at you. Not in your first 90 days. That's a recipe for disaster. In the period of time where you've been there about 60 days to 90 days, so we're talking the last of the 3 months, by this time you should really know everything that there is to know about the job. By this time, if you've made it this far, the employer likes you enough, your team likes you enough to teach you things and give you enough of a chance to learn the job, which means that probably if you made it this far, you've been showing up on time with a good attitude and trying really hard. That's amazing. I want you to ask yourself and then your boss the following questions. What skills would make me more valuable here? What does the next level job require? Where can I help beyond my job description? And I think the best way to go about this naturally is to look at your coworkers, identify who's the most badass one in the room, who's top dog, and figure out what is it about them that makes them special. And then steal it. Steal it. I want to use that word specifically because I have no shame to the game. I want you guys to identify what it is about your coworkers, your friends, your family that you really like and admire, and do that. Pretend until it becomes real. That is literally how you're going to acquire skills and a better personality. It's going to level you up. If you've never asked your boss, what can I do to be more helpful? Then you've never given them a chance to see that you're capable of more. You've never even given them a chance to evaluate the job they've asked you to do and think maybe they could make it better. That's a very important question. And I think every single one of you guys owes it to yourself, not your boss, to ask them that question and see what they say. And in some cases, some of you guys are going to have a boss that's so disconnected, they don't have an answer for you. They probably suck at their job. And most people's imagination tells them that the leaders in their life are not really good leaders. It's not fair to judge every leader in your life as if they suck just because most of them suck, but you got to give them a chance to prove you wrong. And that question is a great way to start. All right, so we got some golden rules for you guys. Reliability beats brilliance. Doesn't matter how smart you are. If you're not consistent, you don't mean anything. Energy beats credentials. You can have the greatest degree in the world. If you got low energy and a bad personality, it's not going to get you anywhere. And conversely, if you don't have the credentials, but you got the energy, it's like saying, if you have the will, you can get the skill. But if you don't have the will, the skill don't mean anything, okay? So bring the best energy you can. And if you don't have good energy, find a way to make it, because that is what's going to set you apart from the rest of the world. And the rest of the world right now, they're not superstars. Average has never been more below average than ever before. We've never had a society like this. In most cases, just showing up is better than the average person. But do more than just show up. Put your best foot forward. Throw a little energy into it that you might be ashamed or embarrassed, may not stack up, but as long as you're trying, it'll work out. Ownership beats excuses. That just means when you make a mistake, own it. You don't need to tell me why you made the mistake. You just did, and it's a part of life. You're right, boss. I did. I'm sorry. Curiosity beats ego. If you think you know everything, then you can't be taught. And if you can't be taught, you can't change on your own. And if you can't change on your own, you've stopped growing and you've stopped being a part of the world. Documentation beats memory. The reason why I walk around with a notepad everywhere I go is because I cannot remember everything. Writing it down, there's no shame in that game. If you're late, negative, or dramatic in your first 90 days, you're being careless. And you're showing your team and your employer you won't grow or bring value. A big part of why I mentioned the team first is because, again, I think a lot of people right now are mad at the power structure of the world that we live in. So we justify bad behavior, not only because it's easier, but because we're frustrated with the people at the top. But the impact doesn't start at the top. It works its way from the bottom up, especially if you're at the bottom of the ladder in the company. When you punish your employer, you're really just punishing your friends. And your friends who you work with, they're going to notice it. They're going to resent you for it. And you don't even realize that they're pointing the finger back at you. Most people ruin their reputation at a new job in the first 2 weeks. Guys, if your life is a shit show and you're bringing that into work, it's going to come out of the woodwork real fast. There is absolutely no way you can keep it under wraps if you're not emotionally dialed in for 90 days. The cracks will show, the team will know, and you'll have to go. All right, this is the most hurtful one right here, but I promise you within 30 days, your coworkers already have a label for you. What does that label say? What are people saying behind your back? How does the world view you? If you're not asking those questions of yourself right now, you're walking through life with a label on your back that you can't read and other people can laugh at. That is terrible. I want you guys to be aware, self-aware, aware of your team, your surroundings, and the attitude you bring, because that's either going to earn you respect or not. Starting a new job can be awkward. You don't know the place, you don't know the people, you don't know the rules, and you don't know who runs the place, which is why you need to keep an open mind, show really positive energy, and don't step on too many toes when you're getting established. Because as I mentioned before, you don't want a label that's created by other people. You want to make the label for yourself and be a butt kicker. One of the goals of your first 90 days isn't to look smart, it's to be trusted. Your goal is to show up and bring good energy to the table so that the people you share the role with trust you, confide in you, and continue to teach you so you can become successful in the job. If you show them that you're not trustworthy because you'll be talking poorly about them behind their back, they're not going to teach you the skill that might help you replace their job in the future. You need to look out for you, but you also need to look out for your team. Be somebody worth the trust, and you'll get to level up. Managers don't promote the most talented employee, they promote the least stressful one. I can't say that enough. If you bring me no stress as an employee because you show up consistently, on time, and with a good attitude, how could I not want to put you in a position of leadership? If you show me you can work well with others, you can be coached, you can coach, you can take advice, you can take criticism on the chin and brush it off, you're my guy or gal. If you can show me that, it's amazing. Take the work off my plate and you'll get more on yours, but more work comes with money. If your boss had to describe you in one word after your first month, what would it be? Ask yourself that question. Are you that confident in yourself that you think your boss is going to call you a killer, an asset, a liability, inconsistency, negative? Listen, y'all, you want to be like Winnie the Pooh, not Eeyore. Eeyore doesn't get anything done. I don't even know why they wrote him into Winnie the Pooh storybooks. He's negative, he's got bad energy, and he always needs to be propped up by the people around him. Be Winnie the Pooh. Be somebody like Tigger who can step up and be energetic and positive in your life. That's who you want to be. Do not be Eeyore. Do not bring that donkey energy into the workplace. All right, guys, as we wrap this episode up, there's a lot to think about. Deeper than the first 90 days of any new job are the big questions that I started the episode off with. Who are you? Have you asked yourself that question? What do you enjoy about life right now? And what do you want to enjoy about life right now? Think about the things that are out there in the world. They are within your grasp. The path to each one of those things, depending on how lofty they are, is going to be different for each and every one of you guys. But if you're not asking those questions, you're not asking the right ones. If you don't know who you are, you won't really know what you're going to bring to a new job or what to expect from that new job. And I know I think highly of myself, but I promise you, if I started a new job in a small company, my self-talk would be something along the lines of, in a year or two, I'm going to be promoted. In a year or two, I'm going to run this place. In 3 months, I'm going to change the way we operate. I'm going to make sure we're more efficient. I'm going to create solutions. I'm going to learn so much. I'm going to grow so much. My life is short just like yours. And I really do think that your destiny is intertwined with your daily actions. And I really don't want to get to the gates of heaven or hell at the end of my life and think about all the beautiful things that I could have accomplished with my life, but I just didn't try hard enough. So be a tryhard, be a teacher's pet, go above and beyond, even if you get shot down, even if this new job you're about to start isn't the one and your boss is going to end up being a donkey. You won't know until you get there, and just because you don't know doesn't give you an excuse to not try your best. As always, thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, drop them below and enjoy.